My name is Jim Koppenhaver, and I am the Director of Enterprise Solutions at Spins here. I'm also the Product Manager for our store-level data initiatives, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. So our third application of store-level data was how do I leverage store data to understand development of my products? So obviously, as everybody knows, if we introduced a product to the marketplace, it's not going to appeal uniformly to all segments of the population, to all elements of geography. Back in the Stone Age when I worked for Kraft Foods, we obviously had products that had much more appeal south of the Mason-Dixon line. So what store-level data helps us to do is, before store-level data, we were simply saying, hey, this product does well in Publix. Well, Publix has got 1,185 stores scattered across 7 states. So just saying it's doing well in Publix doesn't tell me whether it's doing well in Florida Publix stores or in Virginia Publix stores. And then you can go further than that, and you can say even within Florida, you've obviously got the markets of Miami, you've got Orlando, you've got Tampa. So store-level data now allows us to drill down and say, hey, this does better in Orlando than it does in Miami or Tampa. And obviously Miami is a melting pot city, so that starts to tell us something. And finally, in store-level data, we can get down to city and state. So we can take city and state and say, hey, this product seems to be moving better in these cities within this state, and start to understand why that might be and how we would leverage it. And so as you think about that, once you can start looking at the distribution of your products using the store-level data across markets, across cities and states, across neighborhoods, then we can start to look for patterns, and then we can play into and say, hey, if this is moving really well in Orlando, what other markets out there look like Orlando? And if I'm trying to expand that product, then I would look to other markets that look like Orlando, and those would be high-value targets for me in the future. So that's one of the ways that we're going to use store-level data to understand not just where it's moving, good store, bad store, but also markets, neighborhoods, profiles, and use that to intelligently expand the distribution of our product. So one of the things that I ask myself as a salesperson for 25 years is, from a buyer's perspective, why would I do this? What benefit do I get from adding store-level data to my arsenal? Well, let me just frame it this way. So one of the watch-outs in store-level data is just think of the volume of data that you're going to have. So the first thing is it's not really usable unless somebody distills, refines it down to, I reported on 10,000 things here. I can only act on 5. So part of what we're proposing in our systems and the knowledge that we have is we are the way to distill that down into using our platforms like Signals and Satori, using our product expert and people in what we call the consumer growth solutions element. We will help you distill it down and get it to the 5 to 10 actionable items. One of the things that I've long said is that insights that I cannot act upon are of marginal value to me. So just the fact that you enlightened me and told me 10,000 things and I can't act on a single one of them, that knowledge is of little use to me. So store-level data in and of itself is not the Holy Grail. The Holy Grail is, how do I get it down to, if you could change these 20 things next week, here would be the impact of them, and that's the best use of your or your sales force's time in the marketplace. So think about Spins as a tool and brains and people and data that will get you there. So now the question becomes, hey, I'm already buying Spins data. Is this a natural extension to it? Sure. You're already buying categories and channels, and in a lot of cases, you're probably buying key accounts. This is the next step that says, after I understand my world from those dimensions, I now want to understand it at store level, and there are going to be new things that I couldn't see at key account level that now become revealed to me. But in talking to our sales reps, especially the ones who call on newer accounts or smaller accounts, their question to me, which is a very logical question, is, hey, Jim, instead of starting at the top and cascading down, why wouldn't smaller brands use store-level data as their entry point for insights and information? And as I thought about it, I was like, yeah, that's a great idea. I never thought of that before. So the other way to think about this is you may not be buying key account data. You may not be buying channel data. You could start with, hey, I'm $1 million brand and I'm distributed in these places. I'd like to know what my distribution is in fresh time. and I'd like to know how many stores I'm in and what price point I'm getting. So another application courtesy of our sales force and the people who call on those accounts, yes, it would be a perfectly good application to start your journey with spins at store level data and then graduate into key accounts and channels. So whether you run this problem from the top down, you're currently buying the information and it's an extension to get more granular, or you're not sure where to start, but you don't necessarily want to start at the macro view of the world, or you don't have the budget to start at the macro view of the world, store level data through spins is a good way to get in and do a bite-sized chunk and then graduate from there into more information, more investments, and obviously those would be fueled through growth in your business. So we would like to be on this journey with you, and information and insights. Store level data is one of the pieces that we bring, and we'd love to talk to you further about your particular needs and how store level data through spins can help you grow your business.